Hello, and welcome to episode 25 of A Fit and Able Life. We're trying something a little new today. It's just going to be me talking straight to you. But before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about our podcast. A Fit and Able Life is our flagship podcast show that's designed to help people like you get to where they want to be in life with their health and fitness. And sometimes we get people who are confused because we interview such a wide variety of people, including coaches, athletes, parents, kids. We've heard so many inspiring stories and learned a lot of great things about how to get to where you need to be with your health and fitness. And that's what we're here to do. And we hope you enjoy what we're doing, how we're presenting this information, and that we want to hear more questions from our audience about what they want to learn. So I just want to put that out. We're 25 episodes in, and I just want to reiterate what this show is about. But today, what we're going to talk about is how to choose a race. And we got spring, the warm weather is here. It might be a little early. I know we were all surprised last week to have 80-degree weather, but that means race season is just around the corner. And Fit and Able, we've already had a couple races this year, and we're just getting started. So today we're going to talk about 10 things to keep in mind to pick the right race for you. So here we go with number 1. Every year, there are more and more races each weekend. In the Triangle alone, where Fit and Able operates, there can be a half dozen or more 5K races each and every weekend. Now, that's insane. How can you possibly choose the best race to participate in with so many options? You might want to support each of those charities, but most likely you don't have the time or you aren't physically up to running a race each and every weekend, especially on a Saturday and a Sunday. There are a lot of factors to weigh out for when you're trying to choose a race. After all, you only have so much time on a weekend, and to be honest, you only have so much money to spend on races. You can't be dropping, $20, $30, $35 on a 5K 4 times a month. That gets expensive. So the first tip on how to help you choose the right race for you is how important is the cause to you. Many causes are important to people that they will bend over backwards to support it. Some will even stage the race themselves. Fit and Able, that's how we get started. We stage races to support the causes that were important to us, and we help other organizations stage their races. If the cause being supported by the race is important, then you will want to be out there. But again, there's so many charities to support. Also, many races have conflicting race dates, or are too close together to reasonably be able to do them all. If that's the case, you'll have to prioritize those charities by what's most dear to your heart. Keep in mind, though, there are no wrong answers. They're all good causes. But just because you can't run the race you want to, doesn't mean you still can't support the cause. Most races these days have donation options. Fit and Able's races definitely do, and you can find it you can see on the tab, sign up, volunteer, donate. There's ways for people to support the race and the cause, and with lots of variety. So run the races you can, but donate. You can donate the amount of the registration fees to the others. You can't be in 2 places at once, but you can certainly support 2 charities at once. All right, tip number 2. Is the course fun and safe? If you're an experienced runner or very active in your local race scene, you've probably run every available course. And you've probably run some of them multiple times a year, all these different races. After a while, some courses just get boring. With Fit and Able, we try to shake things up. For example, we ran one of our courses, our traditional courses, in reverse. That simple change people loved. They got to see that course in a different way, and it was a different experience because all those hills up and down affected their race and their times, and there was just something new to shake things up. If you have many races to choose from, why not pick the race with a course that you're going to enjoy the most? And it's not just about how fun a course can be. Is the course safe? Not all races, unfortunately, are created equally or with runners' best interests in mind. We see this especially with road races where the roads aren't closed or properly coned off or marked. It's just not safe sometimes. And this can be especially true when the race organizers are trying to be overly creative, trying to create a brand new course, which can be tough. We completely understand that. If you feel that you're at risk on a particular course, don't do it. Races are meant to be fun, and you'll have a better experience if you enjoy the race and you feel safe on the course. Tip number 3 is, are your running buddies in? Racing definitely adheres to the principle, the more the merrier. Whether you're there for the competition or you're to share a fun morning with friends and family, the more participants, the better the experience usually is. If you enjoy running, walking, or strolling with good company, then look for races they will want to participate in with you. Some races even offer group registration discounts. But if good company is your goal, you must keep in mind it's not just what you want. Be mindful of what your running buddies enjoy too. For example, does the race have a fun atmosphere? Are your companions physically up to the distance or the course that you want to try out? And is it close to where you all live? You got to balance these things out to get everyone in your group on board. If you find a race that everyone will enjoy, then you can look forward to having a great time together, and that's the important thing. Okay, tip number 4 is, how busy is your race schedule? Running takes a toll on your body. It can also eat up a lot of your time. Even if there are so many great causes or you're being invited by your best friends, you need to listen to what your body is up for. Racing every weekend can wear you down, especially if you aren't training for it. You may also make yourself vulnerable to injury. An injury will stop you from doing any race. If there's a particular race you've been training for, you don't want to run yourself into the ground the weekend before or on a less important event. Don't feel bad about protecting your ability to achieve your goals. You also want to leave time in your weekends for doing other things. Running's great. Races are fun. And there are a lot of important causes, especially when you're supporting those charities. But there are other good things in life too. Pick the races that work for your schedule. You will always be able to find a race on a weekend you're ready to run. Number 5, is it all about that swag? With so many competing events, many races have really upped their game in the giveaways department. The old race goodie bags are a thing of the past, and for many participants, that race t-shirt no longer cuts it. For better or for worse, for the race industry, that's just the way it is now. If you like taking cool stuff home with you, then this could be your deciding factor for what race you want to do. Fit and Able events, we're always trying to come up with something new and fun to give away. For example, at our Soulmates race, we gave away a little keychain that, with Soulmates printed on the bottom. The participants loved it. It's small, fairly simple, but it's something that they can have around them that reminds them about how much of a good time they had at that race. Gotta tell you though, a lot of the young boys that run in it didn't really care for the pink shoe, but we do our best. If a race is offering something super special or distinguishing, you can be sure that race site is really going to show that off. So would you rather have a Sport Tech shirt or some awesome socks? How about a race hoodie or a really awesome mug? This can be some tough decisions. But if that's what you're after, it's no problem. Pick what you want. You know you're going to enjoy the race, so why not get the gear you'll enjoy the most after the race as well? Tip number 6 is, what else is there to do at the event? Like that traditional race t-shirt, just coming out for a run and done experience seems to be passé these days. Many races are increasingly adding other things for participants and spectators to do before, during, or after the race. This is generally called the race festival. Whether it's rides, bounce houses, DJs, food trucks, face painters, or whatever zany thing the organizers could come up with, races are turning into these mini festivals. Not only do these extra activities draw more people to the race, they keep people engaged longer. If you're looking at 2 races, both with the same registration fee, which you would choose, the one that's just a race or the one that has the post-race party, it seems like a no-brainer for which one you're going to go with. You'll probably have even more fun since more of your friends and family will want to join you. All right, tip number 7. Are you ready for it? If you know your limits, you'll enjoy the race more. If you can only do a 5K, don't sign up for a 10K. If you're training in a flat area, watch out for a race in the mountains. Those hills will get you. You want to make sure you are physically up for the race you've signed up for. Whether you run, walk, or stroll, the race has to make sense for you. This goes back to some of our earlier points. Have you been racing a lot lately? Maybe you need a break. Do you have any sort of disability? Perhaps that course just isn't right for you. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in a risky situation, overextend yourself, or get injured. That's a surefire way to not enjoy your race experience. However, if you're looking for a real challenge, then forget about this and just go for it and have a good time. All right, tip number 8, we're getting there close to the end. What's the competition like? If you're in it to win it, or just like seeing how you stack up, then you'll definitely want to know how good the competition is. Unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell. Huge races that offer prize money are guaranteed to have top talent in the race. Many organizers even give free spots to invited athletes to up the race's profile. As a rule of thumb, the bigger the race, the better the competition generally. Why? It's a numbers game. More participants means a bigger talent pool to test yourself against. That's not to say that smaller races don't have great runners. They do. They just won't have as many, and there will be a bigger gap between the few front runners and the big pack. You might be beating the pack, but if you can't keep up with the top dogs, you might find yourself running by alone. And not having a rabbit to chase may make it harder for you to keep up your goal pace. All right, number 9. Is it a good race company? This is an issue that's very important to us at FitEnable as race directors and timers. You know, sometimes even when the race is for a good cause, there's just something about it you want to avoid. Most races reflect the values and personalities of the people who organize and stage them. It essentially boils down to customer service. Here are just a few common issues you might run into at a race that might not be up to par. It was hard or confusing how to sign up. There wasn't much race information. There wasn't much communication. Check-in was disorganized. The race director ignored complaints, or was just plain rude to participants and volunteers. We've seen these issues at other events, and we work really hard to make sure we don't have these same problems at our events. And I think we're pretty successful. You know, the last part about being rude to others is a big one. Race day is crazy for race directors. There's always something that's going wrong, but that doesn't excuse treating participants and volunteers poorly. Unlike stores, restaurants, or services, there is no real Yelp or Angie's List for races, other than social media. Most of what it is just word of mouth. For very serious problems, there might be some press coverage. If you have heard bad things about a race, due to the company managing or staging it, you might want to find another race. Good thing though, there's so many to choose from. All right, number 10, last but certainly not least. Does this race have a greater significance to you? Sometimes when you choose a race for the best course, the coolest swag, the most heart-touching charities, but there's sometimes just something special about a particular race. Maybe it's the 50th anniversary race or the inaugural run, or it's just the 20th time you've run it in a row, or maybe it's just the first race you ran with your special someone. The intangible value of a race can easily make the choice for you. When the Boston Marathon had its 100th race, it was super competitive to get in because everyone wanted the once-in-a-lifetime experience. If you have to choose between two races, think about it this way. For the non-significant race, if it's a good race, it'll be there for you next year. But you only get one chance to do the race with that special milestone. Sometimes it's the intangible things that make for the most meaningful and memorable race experience. When it comes down to it, the decision is yours. With so many great races each weekend, you'll always have something to choose from. But it can be hard to decide which one to commit to. These 10 questions I posed simply highlight some of the big differences you'll see between events. Every race is so unique that there will undoubtedly be some other factor that distinguishes it from the rest. Fortunately, you've got a lot of time before the busy season gets underway. Take a look at the main race calendars. Ask your friends and family what they're looking forward to, and start training for race day now. Again, there are no wrong answers, and you're going to have a blast no matter what. I want to know what factors you use to pick the races you do, and I want to hear what the things that attract you to those events are. And for something new, I want to add it to the list so others can learn from you and help decide the best races for them. Again, I hope this is helpful for you with the upcoming race season. If you like what we do of a Fit and Able Life, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or our iTunes channel and leave us a review. Feedback is the only way we know what you're wanting to listen to and how we can improve our program. So please, let us know. Again, thank you for listening. Keep moving forward and enjoy your race season. We certainly hope to see you at some of ours.